Desmond Scott just admitted he made choices he's not proud of, and now his wife of 11 years is done with the marriage. Kristy Scott filed for divorce on December 30th, 2025, and what she put in those court documents has the internet losing its collective mind. This couple built a following of over 30 million people across their platforms. Middle school sweethearts who made the Forbes 30 Under 30 list, landed deals with Gucci, L'Oreal, and Google, raised 2 beautiful sons, and stayed together for 16 years. All of it collapsed because of one word in those legal papers, and that word is infidelity. What's really got people talking is that fans are saying they spotted the warning signs months ago. Desmond vanished from Kristy's content back in December, and nobody understood why until now. There's also this whole conversation happening about their reported religious background and whether that connects to how this divorce is playing out. Today, we're breaking down everything, starting with Desmond's statement and what he actually said between the lines. We'll cover the warning signs fans caught that the rest of us missed, the Jehovah's Witness situation that has people speculating what fans are most interested in knowing, and the full story of how this power couple went from relationship goals to divorce court. Hit that subscribe button because we are about to get all the way into it. The most recent development is what everybody's been waiting for, which is what Desmond had to say for himself. TMZ broke the news on January 9th, 2026, and the whole internet wanted answers. Would he deny it, explain it, apologize for it? One day later, on January 10th, 2026, Desmond Scott broke his silence with a statement on his Instagram stories, and people have been analyzing every single word since. Let me read you what he wrote, and then we're going to break it down together. His statement opened with this: I want to begin by apologizing to Kristy, our family, and everyone who has been impacted by the public attention surrounding this situation. I know this news has been disappointing for many, and I'm truly sorry for the hurt it has caused. The next part addressed his children. Kristy is the mother of my children, and that will always come first. I remain fully committed to being an active, present, and loving parent to our boys, as I have always been. And then came the part that has everybody talking. Kristy and I faced challenges and made sincere efforts to work through them. Toward the end of 2025, I wanted to separate, and I had conversations with Kristy regarding this. During this period, I made choices that I am not proud of. I took responsibility for those actions. I shared this with her directly and personally, and ultimately we decided to divorce. His closing asked for grace. I asked for privacy and compassion as we navigate this difficult chapter in our lives. Thank you to everyone who has supported us over the years. I'm grateful for that support, and I will continue sharing my love for cooking and the things that inspire me. I hope you'll continue that journey with me. That statement deserves a closer look because every word was carefully chosen. Notice what he left out. The word cheating never appeared. The word infidelity never appeared. He never specifically admitted to having an affair. What he chose instead was that he made choices that he's not proud of. Here's the thing though, everybody understands what that means. Nobody issues a public apology for choices they're not proud of when those choices were something innocent, like eating too much fast food or skipping the gym. Choices I'm not proud of in the context of a divorce filing that cites infidelity. We can all read between those lines. He also revealed something interesting about the timeline. According to his statement, toward the end of 2025, he wanted to separate and had conversations with Kristy about it, meaning he claims he wanted out first. These choices he mentioned happened during that separation period. Some people interpret this as justification for what happened, like he's saying he already wanted to leave anyway. Others point out that wanting to separate and actually being separated are two different things entirely. Living together as a married couple while having conversations about separating still means you're married. The timing of his statement is worth noting too, since it came out just one day after TMZ broke the news. He didn't hide or stay silent for weeks. He addressed it quickly, took some level of responsibility even without using the exact words, and asked for privacy. Fan reaction landed somewhere between disappointment and devastation. Comments flooded his Instagram from every direction. One person wrote that this wasn't on their bingo card for 2026. Another said they were upset with him because he was supposed to be one of the good ones. The most telling comment might be this one: all of a sudden, he looks different to me. That last one hits different because when you find out someone isn't who you thought they were, everything about them changes, even how they look to you. Kristy has taken the opposite approach, saying nothing publicly about this divorce, not a single word. Her regular content keeps coming, lifestyle posts, fashion, home decor, videos with the kids, like nothing happened. On January 6th, just days before the news went public, she posted a banana bread recipe, and after the news came out, she kept right on posting. Some people praise her for that approach, saying she's protecting her peace, refusing to air dirty laundry, handling this with class and dignity. Others are waiting because they know she might eventually say something. As of right now, Kristy Scott is letting those court documents speak for themselves. When news like this breaks, people always go back and look for the signs, rewatching old videos, scrolling through old posts, searching for anything they might have missed. With the Scots, fans found some things. The biggest red flag was that Desmond straight up disappeared from Kristy's content in early December 2025. Yahoo reported that fans quickly noticed Desmond stopped appearing in Kristy's social media posts starting in early December, which sparked speculation that something was off long before the filing became public on January 9th. Their last joint appearance that people have identified was an Instagram reel from early December 2025, featuring Kristy modeling what was described as a Labubu style outfit with Desmond in the background. His caption read the only 24-karat gold Labubu, and that video pulled in over 360,000 views. As far as anyone can tell, that was it, and after that he was gone from her content. The content itself shifted noticeably after that point. Kristy moved to solo content featuring fashion posts, home decor, and videos with only their children. Yahoo described it as a stark contrast to their usual daily upload schedule, since this couple used to post together constantly as their whole brand. When suddenly it was just Kristy and the kids, people started talking. December 25th, 2025 appears to be the date of their last family photo, a holiday-themed post that went up just 5 days before Kristy filed for divorce. Christmas Day, posting a family Christmas photo, knowing that in 5 days you're going to file divorce papers, can you imagine what that felt like? Looking back at their history makes this whole situation even more heartbreaking. On New Year's Day 2025, about a year before everything fell apart, Desmond reportedly posted about his goals to be the best husband and father. The best husband and father, and by the end of that same year, his wife is filing for divorce because of alleged cheating. August 2024 brought their 10th wedding anniversary celebration just 16 months before the divorce filing, with a lavish party and an interview with People magazine about their relationship. What they told people is hard to read now. Their words to the magazine painted a picture of lasting love. "We have been best friends since teenagers, and that's never changed. We focus on genuinely having fun, constantly laughing, keeping things light and spontaneous, and finding humor in everyday life. 10 years flew by. We've literally grown up together and navigated life together. Best friends since teenagers, grown up together, navigated life together, and 16 months later, divorce papers citing infidelity." Fans often feel like they know these influencers because they watch their videos every day, see their families grow up, feel invested in their relationships. When something like this happens, it feels like a betrayal, not just to the spouse, but to everyone who believed in them. The truth is, we only see what they choose to show us. Those happy videos, those loving looks, those couple goals moments, and we don't know what's happening when the camera turns off. With the Scots, clearly a lot was happening that nobody knew about. Now we need to address something that has been swirling around this whole divorce situation, which is the discussion about the couple's reported religious background. Let me be clear about something up front, because accurate information matters here. Neither Kristy nor Desmond has ever publicly confirmed their religious affiliation, and this has not been verified by them directly. Multiple news outlets, including IB Times UK, Capital Extra, and What's Trending, have reported that the couple is believed to have been raised as Jehovah's Witnesses. That reported background has sparked a lot of speculation among fans about whether religion played a role in how this divorce came about, and let me explain why people are making this connection. According to JW.org, the official Watchtower website, Jehovah's Witness doctrine only permits divorce on very specific grounds. The teaching based on Matthew 19:5-9 holds that the only scriptural grounds for divorce is sexual immorality, meaning adultery. When fans heard about this divorce filing and saw that it specifically cited infidelity, some of them started connecting dots. The theory goes that if the couple was indeed raised in this faith, then infidelity would be the only acceptable reason for Kristy to file for divorce and remain in good standing within her religious community. Wild speculation has circulated online about this situation. A viral tweet claimed that Jehovah's Witnesses prohibit their members from divorcing spouses for any reason other than infidelity, noting that this includes even abuse. Because of this rule, the tweet claimed, many Jehovah's Witnesses cheat in order to have what they call an approved divorce. What's trending covered theories that Desmond may have cheated strategically to gain what some are calling a God-approved exit from the marriage. Caution is necessary here because this remains speculation, and we don't know for certain what role, if any, religion played in this situation. Confirmation that they are Jehovah's Witnesses doesn't exist in the public record, and this is what's being discussed online rather than verified fact. What is notable is that religion is completely absent from the couple's public content. A former Jehovah's Witness on TikTok pointed out that despite Kristy reportedly being an active member, she never discusses religion on her social media accounts. This TikToker suggested that Kristy may have found a way to make money off social media without getting kicked out of the religion by keeping her content wholesome enough to satisfy the standards of the faith. That observation is interesting because when you watch the Scots content, there's nothing religious about it, no mentions of faith, no church content, no spiritual messaging, just family pranks, fashion, and lifestyle. If they are indeed practicing Jehovah's Witnesses, they've kept that completely separate from their brand. Whether this religious element connects to why the divorce is happening or how it's playing out, only Kristy and Desmond really know, but fans are definitely talking about it and trying to understand. As this story has unfolded, certain topics have dominated the conversation among fans who are deeply invested in this couple and have questions that need answers. First and foremost, people want to know the real timeline of when problems actually began. Desmond's statement placed his desire to separate toward the end of 2025, but fans are wondering if the issues go back further than that. Problems during that 10th anniversary celebration, cracks in the foundation while they were telling People magazine how happy they were. People want to understand how a couple that seemed so solid could fall apart. Second, fans are obsessing over whether there were visible signs in their content that everyone missed. Old videos are getting rewatched as people look for moments that might have hinted at trouble, asking whether Kristy's smile reached her eyes or whether Desmond seemed distant in certain videos. That's how fans get when something like this happens. They want to go back and find the clues. Third, huge interest surrounds what happens to their joint business Meant to Be Films, and the irony of that name is not lost on anyone. A wedding videography company called Meant to Be, owned by a couple whose marriage is ending, carries a painful kind of poetry. From a practical standpoint, this is a legitimate business question about who keeps the company, whether they sell it or whether they try to run it separately. Fourth, people want to know how they're going to handle co-parenting their two sons, Vance and Weston, kids who have been in videos their whole lives with parents whose relationship has been content. How Kristy and Desmond navigate that while protecting their children and maintaining their careers as content creators remains a major question. Fifth, everybody keeps asking whether Kristy will ever address this publicly because right now, her silence speaks volumes. Some people respect it, some people feel frustrated by it, and everyone is waiting to see if she'll eventually tell her side of the story. Sixth, the religious dimension continues to draw curiosity as fans wonder whether the couple's reported Jehovah's Witness background influenced the grounds for divorce or any of the decisions being made. Comment sections on both Kristy and Desmond's social media pages have been flooded with reactions ranging from disappointment to anger to sadness. That comment about him being supposed to be one of the good ones really captures how a lot of fans feel because they believed in this couple and rooted for this love story. Finding out it's over and why it's over has been genuinely devastating for many of them. For those who might not be familiar with this couple, let me properly introduce you to the Scots because understanding who they are makes this whole situation hit different. Kristy Sarah Scott came into the world on May 17, 1995 in Trinidad and Tobago, but grew up in Texas. This woman is not just some regular influencer. She earned a bachelor's degree in computer information systems from the University of Houston and worked as an IT engineer before social media took off, which means we're talking about an educated, business-minded woman. Desmond Scott was born on January 10, 1994, and taught himself to cook, which became a big part of his brand through cooking content and showing off his skills in the kitchen. A restaurant collaboration at the West Hollywood Edition Hotel back in March 2025 showed how far that self-taught talent had taken him. These two met in middle school in Houston around 2009 when they were both about 14 years old. Dating started in 2010. Marriage came in August 2014 when Kristy was just 19 and Desmond was 20. Their relationship spans approximately 16 years total, with 11 of those years as husband and wife. Their YouTube channel, The Scots, was created back in April 2010, but the real explosion came during the COVID-19 pandemic when they formally partnered as content creators in March 2020. Everybody stuck at home during lockdown was looking for entertainment, and The Scots became that entertainment for millions. Their family-friendly pranks, those hyper-realistic cake reveals where you think something is a regular object and then they cut into it and it's cake, all that lifestyle content just resonated with audiences. The numbers they've built are impressive by any standard. Their YouTube channel has somewhere between 4.5 to 5 million subscribers with over 2 billion total views across all videos. Kristy's TikTok alone commands 16 to 17 million followers, while her Instagram has 9 to 10 million. Desmond built his own following with about 1.5 million followers on his TikTok, where he posts cooking content. Their combined estimated net worth, according to Capital Extra as of January 2026, falls somewhere between $4 and $6 million. Together, they own that wedding videography production company called Meant to Be Films, and we've already covered the painful irony of that name. Kristy also launched her own sustainable clothing line called Vira in 2023. Recognition followed all that success, with Kristy landing on the Forbes 30 Under 30 list in the social media category in 2023 and signing with Range Media Partners in September of that year. Her brand partnerships include Estee Lauder, L'Oreal, Gucci, Dolce & Gabbana, Google, and State Farm. Their two sons, Vance and Weston, have been regularly featured in content throughout their lives. This family represented the picture of Black excellence, Black love, and entrepreneurial success. A couple who literally grew up together, built everything together, and seemed to have figured out how to make marriage and business work. Understanding all of that explains why people were absolutely shattered when the divorce news dropped. The actual divorce filing and its details deserve close attention. December 30th, 2025, just 5 days after Christmas, Kristy Scott filed for divorce in Harris County, Texas. The filing wasn't made public right away, and TMZ didn't obtain the court documents and break the story until January 9th, 2026. What those documents revealed had everybody's jaw on the floor. The filing explicitly cites Desmond's alleged infidelity as the reason for the divorce, without mincing words about it. According to the court documents, the alleged infidelity, and this is a direct quote, completely wiped out any reasonable chance of reconciliation. Language in the document states that the couple will soon stop living together as husband and wife, and that reconciliation is no longer realistic. Specific details about what exactly happened or who may have been involved were not included in the public documents. The message came through loud and clear regardless. This marriage is over, and infidelity is the reason why. Sit with that for a second. This couple that has been together since they were 14 years old, this couple that built their entire brand on being in love, being a team, being relationship goals, and all of it came crashing down because of alleged cheating. As of January 13th, 2026, when we're recording this, the divorce remains in its very early stages. No hearings have been scheduled yet, no rulings exist on child custody, no rulings exist on support arrangements, and no decisions have been made about how they're going to divide up their shared business interests, including that Meant to Be Films company. A lot of questions still need answers about what happens to their joint YouTube channel, how they'll handle co-parenting Vance and Weston, and who gets what from the business. All of that remains up in the air. What we know for certain is that after 11 years of marriage and 16 years together total, Kristy Scott was done, and she put it in writing for the courts and eventually the whole world to see. As we wrap this up, let me give you the current status of everything as of January 13th, 2026. Legal proceedings remain in their very early stages following the December 30th, 2025 filing. No hearings have been scheduled, no rulings exist on custody of Vance and Weston, no rulings exist on financial support, and no decisions have been made about how their business interests will be divided. All of that is still to come as this divorce moves through the court system. Kristy Scott has made no public statement about the divorce and continues posting her regular lifestyle content featuring her children and her home, acting publicly like nothing is happening, and whether that changes remains unclear. Desmond Scott issued his one statement on January 10th, where he acknowledged making choices he's not proud of, asked for privacy, and said he plans to continue sharing his cooking content, and whether he says anything more also remains unclear. The Scots YouTube channel, with its 2 billion views and nearly 5 million subscribers, faces an uncertain future since this was a joint channel built on being a couple, and how that works when you're no longer together is anyone's guess. Their company, meant to be films, faces the same uncertainty around whether one person buys the other out, whether they sell, or whether they try to run it together despite being divorced. All business decisions that will need to be made. The big questions about what really happened, the full truth about the alleged infidelity, whether religion truly played a role, whether problems existed for years that nobody knew about, those answers may or may not ever come to light. And that's where we are. 16 years of love, 11 years of marriage, 30 million followers, Forbes lists, brand deals, 2 beautiful children, and a whole empire, all of it coming apart publicly because of alleged infidelity. Kristy Scott took her middle school sweetheart, built a life and a business with him, created content that made millions of people believe in love, and then had to file divorce papers 5 days after Christmas, citing cheating. Imagine how that must feel, putting that in a legal document knowing it would eventually become public, watching your heartbreak become headlines. Desmond has to live with the fact that he went from being seen as one of the good ones, a family man, a dedicated husband, a partner, to someone who made choices he's not proud of that ended a 16-year relationship. Whatever actually happened between them, the fans who watched them for years, who celebrated their anniversary with them, who felt like they knew this family, they're processing their own feelings of disappointment and betrayal, because when you follow someone's life for years and then find out it wasn't what it seemed, that does something to you. Only time will tell how this all plays out, since the divorce is just beginning. Custody arrangements haven't been made and business decisions are still pending. Maybe one day Kristy will tell her side. Maybe we'll learn more details. Maybe they'll find a way to co-parent peacefully and both continue their careers. Or maybe this gets messier before it gets better. What we know is that the Scots story as a couple is over, and that middle school love story that so many people believed in is ending the way nobody wanted it to end. I'm gonna keep you all updated as this situation develops, so make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss anything. Drop a comment below and let me know your thoughts on this whole situation. Whether you're Team Kristy, disappointed in Desmond, or think religion played a role. I wanna hear from you.